This week on Shawnee's News 30, police respond to an incident on Oklahoma Baptist University campus.
And Shawnee residents can look forward to new shopping experiences. Welcome to this semester's first edition of News 30. I'm Lindsay Skinner.
And I'm Jake Nelson.
September 9th at 6:30, Oklahoma Baptist University dispatch was called in about a suspicious subject near the Noble complex. Police approached the man in an attempt to escort him off campus. After some confrontations, the man made a threat toward the police officer, lifting some poles into the air. News 30 talked with OBU Police Chief David Shannon about how OBU students can stay safe on campus in a situation like this.
It's very rare that something like this happens. We do have incidents. You know, the university is pretty wide open. Anybody can walk through. The officers here keep an eye on the people that walk through our campus. If they do look suspicious, they make contact. You know, we encourage students, faculty, and staff, if they see anything suspicious, to contact us.
A witness was able to send us in this cell phone video on the incident. If students on campus ever need assistance from OBU police, they can contact 405-878-6000.
A Kentucky clerk is free today after being arrested for refusing to issue marriage license to same-sex couples.
I just want to give God the glory. People have rallied. You are a strong people.
Kim Davis was jailed last Thursday for being in contempt of court. She cited religious beliefs as the reason for denying the license. After the arrest, several of Davis's supporters rallied outside the detention center Tuesday. Davis was released with a warning not to interfere with the court's refusal of issuance for marriage license.
Dylan Roof, the man responsible for the June 17th church shooting in Charleston, South Carolina, has recently pled not guilty for the murder of 9 African-American churchgoers. Prosecutors have made it public that they are pursuing the death penalty for Mr. Roof. He is being charged with 9 accounts of murder, hate crime, and obstruction of religious practices.
Today, Senate Democrats delivered a victory to President Obama when they blocked a Republican resolution to reject a 6-nation nuclear accord with Iran. With a 159-page deal, Iran commits not to pursue nuclear weapons and to face obstacles if they seek to break the commitment and pursue a nuclear weapon. Now President Obama is free to move forward with the agreements. Earlier this week, a vote fell short of the number needed to break a Democratic filibuster. It accumulated hours of debate on the Senate floor since the United States, Britain, France, Germany, Russia, and China announced the agreement with Iran in July. News 30 will keep you up to date on the happenings of the Iran deal.
The annual Education Week Quality Counts report ranked Oklahoma among the lowest for education. The report scored Oklahoma in the bottom 5 states, worse than last year. School districts say poverty and poor school funding are contributing factors to such low scores.
The refugee crisis that's flooding Europe will now be making its way towards the United States. White House spokesman John Earnest said the U.S. will accept 10,000 Syrian refugees. The Obama administration has also committed $4 billion to relief agencies. The White House announced this today after the world was shaken last week by photos of the young Syrian boy who washed up on shore in Turkey. So far, 4 million Syrians have fled from attacks by their government and ISIS.
It was the worst case he had ever seen. That is how animal control employee Clifton Kirby from Davis, Oklahoma, described what he saw when he looked inside a dumpster and found 3 dogs not only killed, but completely skinned. Kirby is afraid that this killing will not be the last by this suspect. The animals' bodies were left in such a brutal condition that the breed of the dogs is still undetermined. The Humane Society is offering a $5,000 reward for any information that leads to the person or persons responsible. Anyone with information about the case is asked to call Kirby at 580-369-0987.
Congress returned to Washington this past Tuesday after a 5-week summer recess. They hit the ground running with focus aiming on the Iran nuclear deal and Planned Parenthood. The controversial issues are causing concern as citizens worry about the possibility of another government shutdown. Congress has a full plate this fall with 12 spending bills, the renewal of federal highway programs, and the shortfall for the Social Security program, which is expected to be run out in late 2016.
Last week was rough for the U.S. stock market as the Dow closed down lower in one day than it has since the nation's debt was downgraded back in 2011. A lot of the trouble recently has been caused by China devaluing their currency and the problems with China's manufacturing sector. U.S. oil prices have also been crashing, which here in Oklahoma we have seen with the dropping gas prices. As great as this can sound when you're filling up your gas tank, this may mean more unemployment in the oil companies.
The drop in gas prices may seem like a blessing, but to many families across the state, it means hard times are coming. Job cuts in the petroleum industry have reached a high of 196,000 across the nation. Last week, ConocoPhillips announced that they are cutting their 10% of their workforce. More cuts are expected to come as other energy companies are being forced to cut jobs just to stay afloat.
Up next, Reagan McGowan speaks with Oklahoma Baptist University's Dr. Crane about September being Suicide Awareness Month.
And Bluebell ice cream is back on the shelves. Stay with us.
Welcome back to News 30.
September is Suicide Prevention Month. Reporter Reagan McGowan talked with University Counselor Cannon Crane about how events like this can be beneficial.
First and foremost, it tells them that they're not alone, that other people have experienced this thing, but that also there are resources available to help them. I think probably the worst part is when you feel like you're suffering by yourself.
If you have any other questions or if you need resources for Suicide Prevention Month, visit the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention.
Bluebell ice cream is officially back on the market. The American-owned company pulled 8 million gallons of ice cream off shelves around the nation earlier this year after a deadly listeria outbreak. Several Bluebell fans celebrated last week as the company returned 5 of its most popular flavors: Dutch chocolate, homemade vanilla, cookies and cream, the Great Divide, and buttered pecan. Ice cream lovers can anticipate the release of more flavors as the company recovers.
Apple has announced in its keynote Thursday some major updates coming to the Apple product line. These announcements include the new iPad Pro, the new Apple TV, and the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus. The iPad Pro is a bigger entry in the iPad line, and new accessories for the iPad include the Apple Pencil for the smart keyboard. The iPad Pro will be available in November. The new Apple TV remote includes a touchpad and a microphone for Siri voice commands. Apple TV also has a new app store that will include games and other apps. The Apple TV will be available in late October. The iPhone 6s and 6s Plus include a new feature called 3D Touch, which lets you interact within an app without opening it. The new iPhones also have improved front and back camera capabilities of shooting 4K video. Both new iPhones will be available September 25th.
New shopping opportunities are coming to your Shawnee, Oklahoma. Jesse Good has more.
I'm standing in front of Shawnee Marketplace beside I-40, which has 11 million people drive by it each year. Because of this large quantity of people, Shawnee is deciding to build up on new businesses. These businesses include Hallmark in the Shawnee Marketplace, expected to arrive between 30 and 45 days, according to Tim Berg, economic developer of Shawnee. Dunham Sports is soon to be occupying what used to be Sears in the mall. Dunham Sports is mostly found in the east part of the country. It is going to be the first Dunham Sports in Oklahoma. Also keep your eye out for a new restaurant in the Walmart parking lot by Panda Express. The Garage, a burger joint. Mostly in Oklahoma City, it is now expanding to the east. My name is Jessie Good, reporting for News 30.
Things just got a little more colorful at the Shawnee Public Library. On Tuesday at 5:30, a mosaic art piece was unveiled at the Public Library in downtown Shawnee. Local artist and Oklahoma Baptist art professor Julie Blackstone worked with about 20 teens over this summer through the library's reading program to create the mosaic piece that was just unveiled. The theme for the work of art was superheroes, so the students focused on integrating bright colors in the blocks. This display of art was designed to draw youth to the library in Shawnee while nurturing future artists.
Up next, the word on the street is that Need to Breathe is coming to Oklahoma Baptist University.
And Emma Patton has this next week's weather, and Pottawatomie County's fair is actually around the corner. Stay tuned. Welcome back. With the forecast for next week, here's your own Emma Patton with the weather.
Thanks, Lindsay. While the weather is looking nice tonight, it will be a pleasant 68 degrees and a slight breeze this evening. Early tomorrow morning, a cold front will be moving in. It will be 79 degrees tomorrow, but still muggy with a 40% chance of thunderstorms in the morning. Most likely, the storm threat will stay in northern Oklahoma, but you may want to grab an umbrella just in case. Friday evening, it's going to cool down all the way to 55, and we should have clear skies by nighttime. If you're looking forward to any weekend plans on Saturday or Sunday, it's going to be a beautiful weekend, thanks to that cold front. It will stay in the upper 70s and low 80s until Monday, when temperatures will be back up to 86. Unfortunately, it's going to stay hot after it gets hot. Monday through Thursday, temperatures will be in the upper 80s and low 90s with lots of sun. The UV index is shaping up to be higher than normal, so if you're trying to get some summer sun before fall arrives, this would be a great week to do that. For our watchers who suffer from allergies this time of year, the pollen forecast this weekend is very low for tree and grass pollen. However, weed pollen will be very high this weekend, so those of you who have ragweed allergies may want to limit your time outside. Luckily, that cold front that's moving in tomorrow night should help keep the pollen counts down. In review, it's looking like a very pleasant weekend in the 70s and 80s and another hot week next week. Back to you, Lindsay.
Thanks, Emma. This week, Tyler Henson interviewed OBU professor Steve Hicks about his new exhibit opening at the Maybe-Garer.
September 12th through October 15th, OBU professor Steve Hicks has an art collection on display at the Maybe-Garer Museum of Art on SGU's campus. This week, I got to visit the gallery and talk with Professor Hicks about his collection.
For as long as I know, I've been drawing or painting, and it's like my mom used to tell me that was the only way they could keep me quiet was to give me a pencil. So I've been at it for a pretty long time. Well, this is kind of a representation of the work that I've been doing over the past 35 years. And as you can see, it kind of varies a little bit. It goes back and forth between being fairly abstract, being something that's a little bit more recognizable. So it's like I work in both areas and sort of enjoy that. I think color and paint really connects not only visually but emotionally with people, and that's kind of what I've explored in a lot of these is that you know, between an image and then between just the application of paint, you know, there's a lot of different sort of attitudes that can be achieved, and a lot of different ways you can work with it.
A reception is being held for Professor Hicks Friday, September the 11th at the Maybe-Garer Museum of Art from 7 to 9 in the evening. But you can view Professor Hicks's collection through the 15th of October anytime that the museum is open to the public. For more information about the museum, visit mgmoa.org.
OBU has been ranked best in the West for 2016.
September 12th.
This will be the 11th consecutive year OBU has been named one of the best universities in Western United States by the Princeton Review. The two categories for consideration are academic excellence and faculty-student surveys. OBU is among 7 other Oklahoma schools to make the list. To read more about it, you can go to www.okbu.edu.
The Pottawatomie County Free Fair has officially started here in Shawnee at the Heart of Oklahoma Expo Center. The fair will go from now until Sunday with a variety of events. Starting at 3 o'clock every day, there will be a trade show, and at 5 o'clock, there will be a carnival. Friday, the events will include a barrel racing contest and a dairy show. Bright and early Saturday morning, there will be a 5K run. And in the afternoon, folks can sit in on a rodeo, a livestock judging contest, and a texting contest. And then Sunday will wrap up the fair. For a complete schedule of events, you can go to www.visitshawnee.com.
Hey, here's an event you're not going to want to miss. The Grammy-nominated band Need to Breathe is coming to OBU. The concert is on Thursday, August 24th in Rayleigh Chapel. The doors will open at 7 p.m. and the concert will begin at 8. Tickets will be open to the public on Friday, August 21st, starting at 3 p.m. Tickets are $28 and you can purchase them at www.okbu.edu/needtobreathe.
After the break, Jermaine Tucker is going to take it away with your sports.
Welcome back to News 30.
Here's Jermaine Tucker with this week's Look at Sports.
Thank you, Lindsay. A judge erased New England quarterback Tom Brady's 4-game suspension for a controversy that the NFL claimed threatened football's integrity. U.S. District Judge Richard Berman said that NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell went too far in pronouncing punishment on Brady. Brady has protested that he played no role in any scheme to deflate footballs below the NFL's allowable limit at last season's AFC Championship game. Brady will now be eligible for the Patriots' season opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he will also be able to participate in the unveiling of the Patriots' 2015 championship banner. In other news, in the Big 12 Conference, number 19 ranked Oklahoma is hoping for a better start when it visits number 25th ranked Tennessee on Saturday. The Sooners were held to only one field goal in the first 6 offensive possessions against Akron, a slower than anticipated start for Oklahoma's high-powered offense under new offensive coordinator Lincoln Riley. But the Sooners went on to a 41-3 season opening victory over the Zips. The good news for the Sooners is that they were dominant in the second and third quarters against Akron, scoring a whopping 5 touchdowns with Baker Fields passing for 388 yards and 3 touchdowns, breaking Sam Bradford's school record for yard passing in a season opener, validating Stoops' decision to name him the starting quarterback over Trevor Knight and Cody Thomas. In local college news, OBU Bison loses its NCAA debut against Harding 20-19 in overtime. OBU marched down the field going 34 yards in their first offensive possession. However, Harding responded by steamrolling their way to a 99-yard down the field for their first touchdown of the game. In the fourth quarter, OBU's kicker, Trey Tolley, had the game-deciding kick blocked in regulation by Harding's defense to force overtime, where the OBU Bison came up 2 points shy of a victory. Dakota Carrington caught up with OBU head coach Chris Jensen with more on Saturday's loss to Harding.
We're here with Coach Jensen, the head football coach of the Oklahoma Baptist football team. Coach, what do you think? How do you think the transition has been from NAIA to Division II?
Well, very pleasing so far. You know, up to this point, it's been just all the rule changes as far as recruiting and stuff like that, and player management. But then getting to take the field against a Great American Conference opponent, Division II opponent last week, and then being competitive. Very pleased with the transition so far.
What are your thoughts on Saturday's game, Coach?
Obviously disappointed that we didn't come out with a win. When it comes down to it, we didn't make enough plays to win the game. But there's no question about the heart that the players played with and played all the way till the end. We asked them to play for 60 minutes, and then when the overtime came up, we asked them to put in a little bit more, and they did.
Now we're going into Arkansas Tech this weekend, Coach. They ran for a 469 yards of total rushing yards, and then a total of 590 total offensive yards to beat Southern Nazarene this last weekend. What do you think it's going to take to pull out the victory this coming weekend?
You know, we're going to have to prepare like we did for Harding, first of all, and then we have to mentally prepare and come with the same kind of attitude and the same kind of commitment that we're going to play for 60 minutes this next week, which is a challenge for a team to do, because I think we played at a high level as far as emotions and our energy and our heart. Played at a high level on Saturday, and to duplicate that is a challenge, and that's what we have in front of us, but I think we're going to match the challenge.
The Bison will travel to Arkansas Tech Saturday, where they will try to rebound from the loss to Harding and earn their first NCAA victory.
All hail the Queen. Queen Elizabeth has made history as she becomes the longest reigning monarch. She received the throne in 1952 at the young age of just 25. For 63 years and 7 months, she has been the Queen of England. She passed her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria.
Thank you very much for watching our first show this season. Be sure to tune in next week at 6:30 tomorrow, Thursday. Thanks for watching.